UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Underground Video Network's We Talk Too Much. I am Michael Boroff.
And I'm Richard Catterjohn.
Rich, how's everything going?
Good. Been pretty busy.
Yeah, you've gotten to do some videos for work and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done some stuff recently. Things are changing.
Yeah. I was going to say, how's the newspaper biz going?
Yeah, for the most part, we had a busy day yesterday. We put out the grad edition for the local areas with all the kids that graduated and college and stuff. So it was interesting.
It is that time of year. It just seems weird. The older we get, it's just like, oh, it's graduation time again. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's been a couple weeks since me and you got to sit down and chat. How's everything been going?
Yeah, good. Keeping up with a bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff's been on Disney Plus these last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Normally, because it's a lot of times me and Richard don't get to talk right after, something big comes out. But seeing as how Obi-Wan, the series finale, just dropped a couple days ago, we're going to have to give you the spoiler alert because we are going to talk about it. Yeah, let's jump right into it. Let me ask you, first of all, Richard, now that it's done and over with, what was your impression of the series as a whole?
I enjoyed it. It was the story was something to tie episode 3 and 4 together, so it worked for that purposes and gave sort of that Obi-Wan Darth Vader a new meaning.
Yeah. Aside from a couple little things, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed it. Ewan McGregor was fantastic. The entire cast was fantastic. The young lady that got to play young Princess Leia Organa, I will defend that young lady. I absolutely adored her. She was like. She was up there with Patrick Stewart for Professor X when it came to ideal casting. They really couldn't have picked anybody better to play a very young Carrie Fisher. That being said, it just felt like it felt like filler. It really didn't add anything to,
Well, there's not that much to add,
Yeah, yeah.
But it did give you that little bit where the whole part help me Obi-Wan. It kind of gave context to that, and then it gave a little more context because Obi-Wan and Darth Vader met again. Anakin. They had that, that major duel and stuff, which really solidified why basically Anakin hates Obi-Wan almost. But
yeah. Let's jump right into that. I gotta say that fight was incredible. That was from choreography. Thank you.
Choreography, yeah.
That was amazing. Like I actually had to go back through like a couple times and rewatch it because I was like, I'm watching it, I'm excited for it, and I'm like, did he just do the behind the back thing? Oh man, that's awesome,
And we even got the whole,
Yes, we got to see him do the classic Obi-Wan pose.
Yeah.
And we really got to see how genuinely powerful Obi-Wan could have been, or was.
Yeah.
When he opened himself back up to the Force, because everything so far we've seen, it was like he was still like I'm done being a Jedi. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. When Leia was falling and he force grabbed her, that was a reaction, but once he fully embraced it, like, all right, it was like John Wick, I guess I'm back in, and then there was a couple little things here and there that I gotta admit that kind of bugged me. It's like, look, evidently, first of all, throughout the Star Wars universe, we've learned the Star Wars universe lacks two things. One, handrails. There are absolutely no handrails anywhere within the Star Wars universe. And two, auto-targeting? I mean, the little remote that shot Luke in the ass had better targeting than a goddamn Star Destroyer. And that wasn't just this episode. I mean, like, everything. Because it's like when Vader told the commander, increase power.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. That was an entire goddamn Star Destroyer shooting a little,
Well, that was the thing. It was little, compared to this thing.
Yeah. But also, too, it was... Of
course, these aren't clones. These are actually enlisted individuals who are stormtroopers now. So, they can't do anything.
No, this was after the Clone Wars. Yeah.
Way after Clone Wars. This is enlisted individuals.
But the other thing, too, is just like when Obi-Wan broke off and went this way, and Vader was like, follow him. Dude, you're on a Star Destroyer with what I imagine is a full battalion of TIE fighters. Get after it,
Well, even some probe droids probably took that thing down.
Yeah! Like, come on! But again, the fight was really good. And the one thing I really liked about the fight was... Now, I'm sure it's probably happened in the now currently canon comic books, but the one thing I always wondered about when like anybody was fighting Darth Vader, especially Obi-Wan or any type of Jedi, is, dude, he's got all these buttons on his chest. I've seen Jedis, take down TIE fighters from the sky. You're telling me with your force powers you couldn't just be like, turn that button off. That one looked important. Oop, what's that one do? And his lights go off, But Obi-Wan went after it, man. He targeted that stuff like a champ, man. Not only did he go for the helmet, but I mean, he went for the chest apparatus. He knew what he was doing.
Well, it's one of the things that we had to have that little foreshadow of, Return of the Jedi when Luke does the same thing.
Yep.
So it's supposed to be setting you up for the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of that.
We did. You know what? Here, I got to tell you this, Richard. I was talking about Obi-Wan with a couple of friends from work the other day, and we were talking about it. And my one friend Travis goes, "You think they'll do another season?" I go, "Oh yeah, I guarantee they've already." And I told him, I go, "Oh, they've already done the next season of Obi-Wan." He's like, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, it was called Episode 4."
There was a recasting, but
Yeah, it was called Episode 4. Years later, Ben's in a desert. Luke stumbles upon him with a message from, To be honest with you, I'm going to harp on this. For as much as, I think all of us would like to see another, Obi-Wan, I really think there's a market for a young Princess Leia show.
Yeah, I actually went ahead and watched the, season 2, episode 12 of Rebels with Princess Leia. When she's about, 16 in that episode?
Yep.
Because I didn't even realize, what's his name?
Anthony Daniels.
From
Fillion.
Rebels.
David Fillion. Or,
No, Isaiah. What's his name? The one you interviewed.
Oh, Ezra.
Ezra. He's the same age as Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
Because he was born just after all that happened, just like a couple months right afterwards. And so when they met up, I thought that was really because I don't know why I forgot all about that, and I watched that episode, and that was pretty cool because she was bringing in transports and they had to steal them so it wouldn't look like they were giving them the transports and stuff like that. So that was a pretty neat episode. So we got to see Princess Leia a little bit longer down the road,
But I mean, I really do. I think if they're going to continue doing stuff like this, to do a show focused around her is the most logical choice because, okay, what are we going to see more of Ben? Okay, he's reserved to be in the desert now. We're done there.
Or did he leave?
Very possible.
Yeah, but he might have left it because all traces of Luke was covered up, so it looked like he was leaving.
So we could very possibly have more storylines. Let's face it, I love me some Luke Skywalker, but it's like, ooh, Adventures on the Moisture Farm, like okay, pass.
Well, we have.
But I mean,
Biggs and the girl and the other kid.
Yeah.
Because they survived because they was in that episode of Boba Fett.
Yep. But I would like to see, because now that we've seen, her, pun fully intended, her rebellious nature.
Right.
How does she start to get more involved in, would be pre-rebellion, but
well, no, the rebellion was started. The rebels saved her.
Oh, so, yes, that's right. Yeah.
So she wants to help, and her dad's already was helping at that time. So, it's what it is. She's was born into it.
Yeah. I would love to see a continuation of her stories more than I would anybody else's right now.
She's Padme's daughter.
Oh, and that was such a good moment too, with Obi-Wan and young Leia. He comes out and admits, I lied. I knew your mother and your father. He handled it so well.
Yeah.
He took the best of both of them, or he saw the best in both of them in her.
Right.
It wasn't like, your father was like this. Oh yeah, and by the way.
Just wait till he tortures you later. No.
No kidding. But no, very, very well done. The part with the third sister, good. I would like to see, now we know, she survived. I wouldn't mind seeing more of her character.
Yeah. Maybe she's part of the rebels or something,
Mm-hmm. Because it really does make you wonder what she did after,
Well, there's a lot of talk that they want to branch out and not have inclusion with any Skywalkers down the road. So.
Yes, I actually, that was because we were talking about him early, Richard. And I'm only going to say, because I'm so happy, I'm going to screw the name up because I was practicing her. Taika Waititi came out and said that he wants to do Star Wars, but he wants to have jack shit nothing to do with Skywalker or any, the movies, no Solo, no popping. It is a huge universe. And the idea that everything that comes around has to have something to do. No, I'm absolutely excited for it.
Just as long as it's fantasy and not just pure science fiction,
Yeah.
Because it needs that little touch,
Got to see another really great moment with Kumail Nanjiani's character.
Oh, yeah.
He so much belong. The Star Wars universe does him more justice than the Marvel universe. That was, I really did. Even for the brief, in total, half an hour, I loved his character in Star Wars Obi-Wan more than I did the Eternals.
Well, I'm really hoping that his character in Marvel will be expanded through Ms. Marvel myself.
Yeah.
I mean, he's mentioned, and it's already, part of the history of what could be part of Ms. Marvel. So.
Yep. So speaking of which, Ms. Marvel, that was I am still continuously impressed by that show. It is just so much fun.
Yeah.
And like after the last few Marvel movies we got, especially which is also on Disney Plus right now, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That was the nice, lighthearted, palate-cleansing sorbet that we needed. It was fresh and refreshing.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that third episode. I was watching it and I go, "Wait a second, am I watching a Hallmark movie for a second?" When they was going into the whole wedding with the brother and stuff.
That was pretty, yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of, this isn't normal Marvel fare,
Yeah. I really do. We've talked about it before. I really do. The only thing that I'm not even skeptical about was I completely understand that they had to change how Kamala Khan got her powers, because the Inhumans, the concept in the Marvel universe of the Inhumans was like a big steaming pile of crap. We're not even gonna touch that. So changing the origins of her power, and I do understand that they wanted to mix her powers up a little bit, because hopefully with the hope of a Fantastic Four movie down the road, do we need two people whose powers are pretty damn near identical? So yeah, they wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I think another reason why they did it too was giving her that cosmic aspect was to really help tie her into the Marvels.
Right.
Get her up to that same level as Carol and Monica. So,
but these characters, I mean, like with her backwards and stuff, that does have a little bit of tie-in with the comics.
Yeah.
Because the clandestine's been around, and the genie, the
Gen.
The Gen, which has been part of, like, not necessarily just Marvel history, but actual might have been something that was going on back in the day, and the whole mythology and stuff. I kind of really like the way they reinterpret all that and let her be the, what is it, great granddaughter of the one that so, or great is it three generation, four generation?
I want to say great because it was because she's talking to her grandma. Right. She was talking to her grandma at the end of the episode, and it was her grandmother's mother.
Right. So so that's the
great.
Yeah. Because that was part of the original group that came from that other dimension or whatever,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of like it, and it's really the whole Ms. Marvel thing showing being like the kids and stuff and everything. I think is really good because there's a lot of younger, different generation would pick up Marvel and start, and this is their Marvel, not necessarily our Marvel. But I think it was good enough that we could enjoy it, and I know I like it.
I completely agree. I really enjoy it because I really am a huge Ms. Marvel Kamala Khan fan. I always loved her more in a team book. Champions is awesome.
Right.
And I only say that because she, over the course of her running the comic books, which I really hope to see on the show, because we're very, we're, in the first couple days we're having powers, but she is such a great role model and a leader within the champions, and it's such a great part of her character. I will say, even though they've changed her backstory and her powers a little bit, they still have nailed the character of Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
The feel, the emotion, they really have nailed the character. And you couldn't have asked for, we've talked about it 100 times, but they really couldn't have asked for a better actress to play Kamala Khan. I mean, she may have literally been born to play this role,
And she likes the source material itself, the actress.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's coming from someone who actually appreciates the source material almost as much as probably the writers, So.
Oh, yeah. She is a fangirl playing a fangirl. I mean, that's, that's like double Inception right there,
So when's AvengerCon coming around? Oh,
I think I read something on Twitter that Kevin Feige is actually he might try to make that a real thing.
I know they're returning to San Diego this year because they got a big announcement, something big with Marvel. So
yeah,
they were going to relaunch the Inhumans. Oh, I mean,
oh God. Hey, man, if they can pull off Black Bolt as good as they did in Doctor Strange, I'll give them a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance. If Marvel can admit, look, we screwed up. We should have waited for Disney Plus to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to try again.
Well, originally it was supposed to have been the movie. It's one of them things that's kind of weird that it's like they reversed the Star Trek, back in the 70s when Star Trek was supposed to be a series, then it became a movie. And then by the second episode or second movie, they saved the franchise. But
yeah.
But I don't know. I just like you said, we've been seeing everything going in this direction and that direction. So hopefully Marvel doesn't get too spread out. Hopefully this is going to be like with Thor coming out. The trailers have been dropping left and right for Thor. So.
Oh God, and those trailers look so damn good. I even saw my first little bit of movie tie-in stuff today. I was out grocery shopping and I saw the first pop. The Funko Pop. It was of Star-Lord at like a kind of like at the helm of a ship. It wasn't just the figure. He had a little diorama and everything on the back of the Funko box. Usually they always have pictures of the other figures in the series. These were all blacked out. So I'm hoping, it might be like a build together diorama, maybe of the, the Milano or whatever. But yeah, I actually was like, holy crap, here we go. And we've seen, I love that we're seeing figures already. I've already seen Lego sets. So, I knew about the goat boat before, but the preview looks really good.
Yeah, I think this is going to work out good, and Mighty Thor, with Natalie Portman playing.
Oh man, I know.
It's because they had those little stills that came out, and I had to share one of those the other day,
Yeah. She does. She looks fantastic, and I can tell you right now, Richard, when one of the first trailers dropped and they actually had a good, even if it was for a split second, a good full-length picture of Natalie Portman in the Mighty Thor costume. I know so many cosplayers that were just like screenshotting and getting every angle, that they possibly could. That suit looks really awesome. I love that she's using the I can't wait to hear the backstory behind it. Using the broken shards of Mjolnir and then using the broken shard. That is awesome.
I wonder how deep they're going to get with the storyline from the comic. Will she be ill or something? Is why she had to have the hammer, or I wonder how much detail they will go in and pull from the comics.
It is very because that was the other thing too, is because they never really touched on it in the movie, but like when she did have an actual physical transformation, this Jane Foster looked like this. And when she picked up the mighty hammer, it wasn't just that, she was wearing the Thor costume. You know, she became almost like another person, much like Henry Blake, Henry Blake. Donald, thank you. Henry Blake. MASH, sorry, my old age. Henry Blake, that was, oh my God, how did it? Henry Blake, Hawkeye, MASH, Hawkeye, Avengers. Okay, that's there's 45 browsers open in my brain right now, but no, I'm very curious to see where they're gonna go with that.
Because back in the day when they had the comic, because we wasn't even sure if she really was Mighty Thor, it was somebody else. You know how no one knew for sure and stuff. You know.
Yep.
But I think it's just gonna be a fun movie, and I hope this is the middle part. I know it's supposed to be like the middle part of the fourth, phase. Yeah. So we'll see. You know.
Going. No, I was trying to how to phrase it, but something else pretty big that's dropped here recently. The Boys.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and talk about the Boys. Did we get to? Okay. Did me and you get to talk about last week's episode?
No, we haven't talked nothing about any of the Boys episode because when our last show it just launched and you hadn't watched it yet.
That's right.
You were watching Stranger Things.
That's right.
Yeah. And I actually went ahead and watched Boys because, I kind of like Boys. This series. They holy shit, because that's what it is.
Yeah. They literally, both figuratively and literally, pulled no punches for this third. And one of the things I really enjoy about this season is we are slowly getting to see just how genuinely terrifying Homelander can be.
Oh, yeah.
Because before, he was just an asshole. Yeah. I mean, we knew he had some psychological problems, but he was just an asshole. The way that he's playing Homelander, Anthony Starr, phenomenal, because it's the hand gestures, it's the eye twitching, it's the just the little ticks.
And like when he was doing that one interview when he snaps with the reporter and stuff,
Yeah.
Little things like that. And then now with the last episode, he's starting to talk to himself in the mirror,
Oh yeah, that was yeah. Because I don't think that was ever, because it almost sounded like from the conversation that he was having, with himself, that this wasn't the first time.
No.
Because it was like when the mirror Homelander, and when we say mirror, we don't mean like Star Trek, like the mirror universe is good. No, it's just the Homelander in the mirror.
Yeah.
When the mirror Homelander was talking, it's like, who got you through that? I did. Yeah. So whatever's going on in that brain of his isn't something that just happened.
Right.
This is evidently something that's been going on inside of Homelander's brain for a long time.
And I like how this season's it's becoming its own series. It still has stuff from the comic, but it feels more like its own entity now.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think they finally reached that critical point where the originalness of their story is starting to supersede being able to tie into the comic books. Although they did give it one last effort to try to pull off, pulling from the comic book source material. This week's episode, which before the season started, when the episode titles and run times were dropped, you could almost hear the collective gasp of the Boys fans when they saw the title of the episode, Herogasm. Now, oh, Rick.
What?
Literally just dawned on me. No, maybe they did plan it a while, because it wasn't this last Free Comic Book Day, but I think it was the Free Comic Book Day before, because it surprised the hell out of everybody that one of the adult titles for Free Comic Book Days was The Boys, specifically the issue Hero-gasm.
No, okay.
Because I remember when they did it, they actually, at Alter Ego, they were like, "Nope, we're going to put those up here. We don't want to have anybody accidentally turn their back in a small trial, like, look, Dennis, it's good." Like, no. And
I remember the miniseries when it came out.
Yeah, so do I, but I hadn't picked it up, in forever.
Yeah, because I really didn't read The Boys that much in the comics. I picked up select pieces.
Yeah.
I think I got one graphic novel, and then I got that particular 4-part series.
Yeah. But this was the episode that everybody was really waiting for. And here's the thing. I thought it was a great episode. But as for all the hype about it being, Hero-gasm, and they even went so far as they put a very comical disclaimer at the beginning. I got to tell you, Richard, maybe it's because I'm so acclimated to what The Boys brings to the table, but I wasn't that shocked. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. It was by no means, just like PG-13 and a little slightly R. It was still way out there.
Yeah, 18 plus.
Yes, but going from the source material,
Yeah.
I mean, I really get it, because if they'd have pushed the envelope anymore, you're looking at hard NC-17, damn near pornographic, And I hate to say, but that episode, and especially the scene of Hero-gasm, it really warrants a rewatch, because honest to God, there is so much going on, even small little stuff in the background. You're so focused on schlong in the foreground, you're missing the 3 schlongs in the background, in the foreground. I gotta tell you, spoiler alert, people. We were not going to get graphic, but it's kind of hard not to when you talk. I think one of my favorite parts of the episode, and which I think literally might be the funniest scene of The Boys for me so far, was when Starlight and Mother's Milk were outside, and the one TNT brothers it was Love Sausage. Jesus Christ. Lozar answered the door, and he's like, "You're not a soup." And especially knowing Annie like we do, and the way she delivered the line, she goes, "Oh no, he's with me, he's good." The way he munches vagina, and then the way she's like, "Nom nom 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 nom." I lost my shit, dude. I completely. Her delivery of the nom 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 was exquisite. It was. No, I really did. Unlike anybody else, Richard, 9 times out of 10 when people say they laughed out loud, it was a chort or snuckle. It was a no, dude. When she said that line, I laughed. And if anybody else had delivered the line, it wouldn't have had as much of an impact. But here was sweet little Annie. Oh yeah, he gobbles it. Oh my Lord. And let's be honest, we all knew what was coming with the Deep. The second back in Voight Tower, when Homelander tells the Deep, "You're going," you knew what was going to happen. You knew exactly what was going to happen, and we weren't disappointed. I wonder, Richard, if PETA will compliment them again for the use of a CGI octopus and not actually using a real octopus. I wonder if they'll get that nod this time. But there was so much going on in that episode. Like, one of the little things is, like, really quickly when the guy walks by and his wang's on fire. And I don't mean like, oh my God, my wang's on fire. No, I mean, it was just like, it was like the Human Torch, but only his, that casually just walked by. And I was,
but yeah, I like how they did what they did with that episode.
Yeah, no, it fit really well too, because it was great knowing that it was a nice touch that it was all what they refer to as the C-listers.
Oh, yeah.
Because that actually made a little bit more sense, because, like in the comic book, it was like everybody. Because that was a joke where it's just like, oh, look, there's an alien spaceship up by the sun that nobody without supervision can see. We got to take everybody. And, and no. It really made sense, especially within the show's universe, that it would just be the C-listers,
Yeah, because Soldier Boy was commenting how he started that back in '54.
Yeah, he goes, this is my idea. He goes, back then it was just me and Patriot Girl or something like that, which, let's mention that first too. Man, okay. Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Hot damn, man. Jensen Ackles is killing it. He plays an asshole so perfectly, and it's much like Homelander is to Superman, Soldier Boy is to Captain America, and it really is. It was like Steve Rogers was the best from that, period in time, and Soldier Boy was really the worst,
Yeah, because he was like fighting from that time, fighting the commies. It was almost like the 54 Cap, that was out in like the young men comics and stuff like that. That's the one that they interpreted for that part, because it wasn't like the World War II. It was the commies smashing. You call it, because that's where the group got put together and stuff like that, and then they started all the superhero stuff,
I liked when they were back in the hotel room when Huey just tried to even just pick up his shield.
No.
And I mean, Huey's, I don't want to say, amongst the group, amongst the boys, he's, the weak one, which is part of the drive that's led to his, current addiction. But the fact, I mean, he's an adult male of somewhat normal strength. He couldn't even budget.
Yeah.
So that was pretty impressive alone, that that was a nice little touch.
Well, that's that one thing I always thought about in the Marvel universe, Captain America's shield. Is it heavy or is it light? It must be light because it's that other material, but at the same time, you would always think it'd be heavier because with, Captain America with his super strength and stuff,
Yeah, because, if any viewers or anybody listening can give us a little bit more light on this subject, I can't remember at any point in the comic books anybody having trouble picking up the shield.
Right.
Because it's not like other people haven't just picked it up, I mean, even in the movies, Sam, who does not have the super soldier serum, had no problem lifting it. It took some practice to throw it and get it to come back,
right.
to use it. But still, the idea that, it was too heavy wasn't, it's not a thing.
Yeah. Well, I think with Soldier Boy, he uses it more for like the defense.
Yeah, it's more like a
really thick, Yeah,
it's less defensive for him and it's more offensive for Soldier Boy.
No, the other way around. It's defensive for Soldier Boy, offensive for Captain America.
Oh, because he chucks it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an extra protection, even though he's he's bulletproof and all that good stuff, but at the same time, to have the shield, it makes him, he doesn't have to take those hits. But yeah, I think this season's going in some interesting directions.
And you got to admit, you got to love that the fact that the twins were such a Jan and Zan spoof. It's because they had to hold hands and they're like, TNT, it was like the Wonder Twin powers activate. Yeah. And I love that it was like, we haven't done this in 30 years, and it sputtered out. The other thing, did you pick up on this, Richard? Are they not only parodying is the best word. Not only are they parodying Captain America with Soldier Boy, but it also feels like they're doing a little nod to the Winter Soldier too.
Yeah, because he was
because at first when Soldier Boy blew up in front of that building, when he heard the Russian music playing, I thought it was more like a form of PTSD. I'm wondering if it's more like the Winter Soldier it's like a trigger, Yeah,
because he hadn't been around forever,
Yeah, because after he blacked out, especially this time, when he walked over to Butcher and them, it's like he really had no memory of what he did. He's like, "What happened?"
Yeah. So now will his black excuse me be enough to take out or not?
Let's talk about that fight, man. That was the most impressive. That was one of the most impressive things about this episode, and especially this season, man. Is we finally got to see the SmackDown. One thing I was surprised about, Richard, and I will be the first to admit I was completely wrong, was I was really thinking that it was going to be a situation where, since Homelander's never really had to fight anybody at his level,
right?
He was not going to be able to fight. You know what I mean? It was just like strength and intimidation that's always worked for him. He threw down, man.
Yeah.
These weren't just like blind haymakers, and just swinging at the fences. He was fighting, which really surprised me.
Yeah, I hopefully we get a rematch. Well, we will. We have to. But
that moment though, when he zapped Butcher and he's fighting Soldier Boy, Butcher gets back up. That WTF moment, that look on Homelander's face, and that's that Carl Urban signature little smirk. It was just like, oh, let's get ready to rumble. It was literally like I could hear round 2, fight, And the thing about it is, Soldier Boy was giving his all, but I'm not saying Soldier Boy was pulling his punches. I just don't think so. It didn't feel like to me Soldier Boy was giving it his all.
Well, he didn't really know the other guy's limits, or how do you want to say it? He didn't know how to fight him. He was testing them or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling that's how his fighting is. He goes into a fight and wants to see what he can do, and then.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I still think. I don't know what his blast will do to him. That's what I just wanted to see,
Oh yeah. I think all of us all of us that is the Boys fans kind of called that moment. There was 2 great moments with A-Train.
Oh.
This was a really good A-Train. It feels so weird to say this because he's such a horrible character. The actor is fantastic. This was a really great episode for A-Train because we got to see him stand up to the woman in charge of Ott. And that was a great moment with her too, where she looked A-Train right in the eye and she said, go F yourself. Yeah, I said it out loud. It was like, oh my God, that was, but that moment with Huey at the mansion, that was some great acting because in that moment when A-Train apologized. It wasn't like a throwaway, like, yeah, I'm sorry. The way he portrayed it, he really meant it.
Yeah. But the only sad part is, now is he dead?
See? And what happened, I think a lot of us, we predicted it, but in a good way. It's not so much that we predicted, it's like what we wanted to see, and they didn't let us down.
Yeah.
But it was in that final moment with Blue Hawk just running his mouth, and A-Train was like, you know what? We're done.
Yeah.
It's yoinked him, and then yeeted down the street at supersonic speeds. The way he did it was even more impressive. Just like drug him.
Yeah.
Drug him down the asphalt. And the way that, when he stopped running, you could just hear his heartbeat. And then, but you're absolutely right, Richard. I mean, we heard his heart stop, but that doesn't.
Yeah, but in a way, it's a good way to end the character. It was justification.
It is.
He was redeemed himself, and then he did that, then he died. So
yeah.
It would be fulfilling with that character, And I think
yeah.
the boys need to keep moving and advancing further and getting away from the path,
Speaking of getting away, how about Black Noir saying, "Screw that noise, I'm out"?
Yeah.
Dude, that was so effed up. Because it was literally like when he's standing there with Homelander, he's like, oh, I knew I could count on you. But the second Homelander turned his back, like he shouldn't get. He was gone.
Yeah.
Like he was in that elevator. He cut that thing out. I mean, now granted, no, I can't. I could be wrong. I don't see it being anything other than like, nope, deuces, I'm out, brrr.
Well, Homelander's gone crazy, and,
yeah.
And these guys got to put him down, I think that's what this series is progressing to.
And dude, to tie back to a person we were talking about earlier, how about that tribute song at the beginning of the episode? Imagine.
Yeah.
They got Kumail Nanjiani, man. Like, okay, when Patton Oswalt popped up, I was like, okay, that's a gimme. Patton Oswalt's one of us. He is the mega nerd. I'm sure he was just like, yep, nope, I'm there. But to see Kumail Nanjiani pop up again, I was just like, goddamn, dude, I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love Kumail Nanjiani. I loved him when I first saw him, his stand-up, and when he was back on The Daily Show. But it was like, man, you are killing the superhero universe right now, dude. But that was so weird to see, just like what so unexpected.
And we got another series that's been hitting them pretty strong right now over on Hulu.
Oh yes, the Orville. Man, I have been waiting for this. I know we've talked about the Orville before, back when the first two seasons were on Fox. If you haven't watched the Orville yet and you are a fan of science fiction, you owe it to yourself to go watch this show. A lot of people, myself included, when it was first announced, I think a lot of us thought the same thing. It's like, oh, it's going to be Family Guy in space. And we were very pleasantly surprised to find out that, like, no, this is really good science fiction with a little bit of slapstick humor.
Well, a lot of people even thought it was going to be Galaxy Quest or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That it was going to be a parody.
Yeah. That
this was going to be Seth MacFarlane's parody. And if you know Seth MacFarlane, he is a huge science fiction fan.
Yeah.
Little known fact that in the movie A Million Ways to Die in the Old West, when he runs into the barn and he finds Doc with the DeLorean, that was Seth MacFarlane's personal Back to the Future DeLorean. That wasn't a movie prop. He owned that. So yeah, he's got his cred. The first two seasons were phenomenal. Great. We always talk about this, Richard. Great storytelling. There was some legitimately good, like old-fashioned Trek / old-fashioned Twilight Zone feeling episodes. And then when it was announced that, you know, that Fox was dropping it because there was some bad blood between Seth MacFarlane and Fox, and then it was announced that Hulu was picking it up, and like many people, my first thought was, yay, more Orville. But at the same time, we're like, ooh, Hulu? Okay, they've done some pretty good originals, you know. We only talk about Murders in the Building. It's effing fantastic. But there was a little bit of nervousness to it. It's even better. I really believe that Seth MacFarlane, I could be wrong. I don't know the behind-the-scenes stuff, but it feels more like Seth MacFarlane has even more creative control.
Could be.
In this series, in this season than he did previously.
Now, is there only going to be this one season? Is that how I interpret this?
I don't know. I have, since the start of this third season, New Horizon, I've actually joined a couple different Orville fan pages, you know, and as of right now, I don't know either way. But the response that I'm hearing from this third season is I couldn't see why Hulu wouldn't do more.
Yeah.
It's getting, I don't know how they do their ratings, but it's getting rave reviews. It's getting excellent ratings. It has been really good. It's been kind of a divisive season because it's playing less of these. The humor is still there, just not as kind of like in your face as the first two seasons.
Okay.
It's taken everything that everybody's really enjoyed about the first two seasons and amped it up. The storytelling is phenomenal. Their special effects budget has definitely increased because the special effects are like after the end of the second season, you know, the Orville wasn't destroyed, but it was in pretty bad shape, right, which gave a lot of reason to make a lot of really great improvements. And we're seeing some really good stories because at the end of season 2, we saw, not the end of, but we saw the Kalon War. We're seeing in the beginning of season 3 the ramifications of Ed allowing Isaac, who is a Kalon,
right,
to be back on the ship. And the great thing about that, which leads to some great storytelling, is it's kind of the, do you judge one on the basis of everybody else? But also at the same time, it's kind of like, well, it's not only that he's the same quote unquote race as they're physically identical,
right,
in every shape or form. So you have crewmates who literally watched friends and family die at the hands of someone that looks spot on, 100% identical to the guy that's sitting, you know, in the seat 5 feet from you.
Yeah.
Which has led to some really great, real, genuine storytelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
Because it kind of harkens back to like post World War I, post World War II, you know, where it's just like, how are we expected to live and work side by side with these people who were on our side, but still, you know, it's kind of like a history repeats itself kind of situation.
Right. Yeah, I can see that because, and especially since it's a mechanical style being, you know, I mean, and
how do we know that trigger is not still inside of you?
Right. Yeah, it's because it's not organic. He's kind of programmed. You know, I mean, that's how the other humans can relate or whatever. You know. Right.
But I have from the first episode. I was literally after the first episode. I was just like, holy shit, this is so good. I was like back in it. Like I'm already looking up, you know, like an Orville costume. You know, I was just like, so in it that it hasn't missed a beat. All of the original characters are there. We got the introduction of a new character, a new ensign, which is adding a lot of great freshness to it, because we all know, well, the fans of the show who fought and worked side by side with Isaac, some of them are still skeptical, but it's like, this is our friend. We did the ride or die with him before, but the addition of this new character who is new to the Orville, we're seeing a very fresh perspective. We're seeing the world through her eyes post Kalon War, and it's just some very fascinating stories.
Cool.
I really do. Season 3, New Horizons of the Orville on Hulu. I can't recommend it enough. It's so goddamn good.
Oh.
I would love to talk more about the Umbrella Academy, but I'm literally only about 3 episodes into it.
Oh, okay.
But so far, I'm literally in the middle of episode 3 as we are filming this. But the first 2 episodes, hot damn, man, worth the wait. That was, it's like, I know somebody's going to beat me to it, Richard, so I'm not even going to bother. But you know how people make those memes of spoiler-free review, or they show a picture of something like completely unrelated, but at the same time completely related to an episode.
Oh, yeah.
All I can think about is Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, dance off, bro. It's like, spoiler-free review of, episode 1 is Star-Lord doing the dance off, And oh my God, they even picked. They had to have done that on purpose. They had to have done it on purpose. Okay, Miles, but there's a dance off, sort of. And not only is there a dance off, it's to Kenny Loggins' Footloose. So not only are they doing a dance off like Star-Lord did, but it's also to, oh my God. Well done. I appreciate that scene even more now that my brain has probably overanalyzed it. But no, I can't wait to talk more about this season of the Umbrella Academy. It's been really good.
Yeah, I can't wait till tomorrow. Westworld starts up again tomorrow on HBO Max.
Holy shit, Richard! I have HBO Max. Oh my God, dude! Why am I okay? That's on the list. Oh, real quick, real minor, Richard. It's something I have to recommend. I think I've talked about this show before. It's one of those sleeper titles. You can find it on the CW, and actually, I think, yeah, probably Hulu or something. But it was Wellington Paranormal. I told you about this show, Richard. It was like it's like a New Zealand show.
About I watched that. Yeah.
Out of nowhere, Richard. Out of nowhere, I popped on the CW, and there was season 3, episodes 1 and 2, and I went, "Oh yes, yeah!" And I watched. Oh, dude, that is such a sleeper show, but it's so effing brilliant. And you want to talk about another show, Richard, that definitely got a nice little. Like, their special effects budget had to have been tweaked a little bit, because I'm not giving away anything, but they're going up against something that's invisible. Dude, the budget of like when the people are getting, I'm like, that's actually really goddamn well done. You know what I mean? Yeah, Wellington Paranormal. That show. I was so tickled when I saw that one got picked up again. So yeah, that's my other recommendation. So speaking of recommendations, Richard, where can we recommend these people go? I see I'm getting better at. Where can we recommend these people go to see and hear more of all of this right here?
Well, we got it a lot easier now. It's only at UVN UVN.plus. Why is that scrolling? It's not supposed to do that. Oh, I see why. Here we go. Yeah, it's at UVN.plus now. You can find all our episodes for the last 20 years. We're going on 20 years now. So everything's there. You can see all the original UVN behind the counters, panel rooms, UVN spotlights, and everything there. And you can also find links to all of our socials. So please like all our social pages and comment if you have any questions or whatever.
So on behalf of myself, Michael Boroff, and my dear good friend Richard Catterjohn, we want to thank everybody for listening and or watching. We hope everybody's staying safe, stay geeky. We hope to see you at a comic book or a convention real soon. Richard, if you would kindly, please.